In this video, we are going to talk about or do an example of a sequence of transformations problem. Okay, so what we want to do is, again, starting from y equals f of x, we want to apply a sequence of the six transformations that we talked about to wind up with this. So that's the first thing that we need to do in this problem. All right, so starting with y equals f of x, right, we want to figure out which of these six transformations can we apply to wind up with this final result here. Okay, so here are the six transformations, right? And of those ones that we're looking at, we have this one looks the most like it, right? We have y equals f of kx. So that's where we replace x by kx, all right? But the restriction here, right, is that k needs to be positive. And we have a negative number, right, that we want to wind up with. So what we'll do is first replace x by 3x, like this. Okay. So replace x by 3x. So that's one of the six transformations. Okay. All right. So it's this one right here, and we know that that's going to be a horizontal stretch or shrink. In this case, it's going to be a shrink, right? Because the k, which is 3 in this particular case, is bigger than 1. All right. So but what we really want to wind up with is this minus 3x right here. So that is going to be handled with this transformation here. So we're going to replace x by minus x. So again, it's better to treat these things separately. All right, so the third transformation, or the second one, is going to be replacing x by minus x. All right, and so this is 3 times x, so now it's going to be 3 times minus x. That's why I put it in parentheses. It's not subtraction, right? It's 3 times the opposite of x. So 3 times the negative 1 is going to be a negative 3. Okay. All right, so now we know the sequence of transformations that were applied to y equals f of x to wind up with f of minus 3x. Okay, and I have those summarized in the next slide. Okay, so we started with y equals f of x, we replaced x by 3x, and then we replaced x by minus x, right? And so the k on this f of x equals 3x is a positive 3, and so we know that the effect that that is going to have on the graph, it is going to cause a horizontal shrink, right? And really important is the pointwise effect. We know, right, if we have a point on the original graph, to figure out where it gets sent to, we would divide by x by 3. All right, so if y equals f of x had a point on it of 0, 0, or actually that's not a good one to do. Let's go with, if y equals f of x had a point on it that was, say, like at 6 minus 2. Then the point on it that would correspond on the shifted graph, y equals f of minus 3x. What we would do is divide the x coordinate by 3. So 6 divided by 3 is 2 and negative 2. We would leave the y coordinate alone. And then we would change the opposite, right, our x to the opposite. So instead of a 2, it would be a minus 2. So a point on y equals f of x, say like 6 minus 2, that would get moved to minus 2 minus 2. On the Newton examples, then we will, then I'll show you kind of how to do that. Okay. And so they're going to give you 2 points, and so you would just apply these pointwise transformations to figure out where they get moved to. Okay. All right, that is it on that one.